What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Matt. He's Dan. We're Mouth of the Mark, and we're going to cut straight to the chase because guess what? NXT Takeover London was fucking awesome, as predicted. It was a great show. It's been, what, 7 hours since Takeover started? 6 hours, somewhere around there?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah. We're on the ball. We're on the ball. Or we're trying to, you know. Making
We're
up for
getting there. We
lost
all have
time.
real jobs, which we'll get to. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I do have my grind to my gears for the day, but
Oh, Lord, here we go. Well, let's get started with Takeover because we'll get to your grinding gears in due time.
okay.
Uh, so let's start over with the overall show. Daniel, what did you think of the show overall, buddy?
Overall, the show was phenomenal. I mean, the NXT takeovers are. I mean, it's a guaranteed gold, man. It's guaranteed money right there to me. It's awesome. All the NXT's takeovers have been phenomenal, and this one was no exception. A few of the booking choices, as far as just who won, I liked all the finishes. I liked everything about the work. It's just who went over, and a few of the matches kind of bothered me. But I still have faith in NXT as opposed to how skeptical I am with the main roster. So I think that they might just be taking a longer route to where I think they're going, which is totally fine too. But overall, overall, I gave the show an A minus. So that's what I gave the show.
I'm pretty much in the same boat. I gave it an A. If I had to say plus or minus, it would probably be in that minus range because um, I there was like I think maybe two matches that I disagreed with who went over. Um, one for sure, one definitely for sure. Um, but we'll get into that. Uh, would you like to take control of the first match?
Um, sure. I actually am in the mark that watched the pre-show. And honestly, it felt like it was more relaxed than the actual like main roster pay-per-view pre-shows, where it feels like they're just trying to hit points and hit points like so quick, and everything just feels kind of forced in those pre-shows. This was really great. I felt like Renee and Lita have a really good chemistry. Like I almost feel like they could just have a show on the network, kind of like Edge and Christian are getting theirs on their own. Like they have you can tell that they're really good friends in real life. It's pretty weird. And honestly, dude, I don't know if you've noticed this, but Tom Phillips, the guy with the dark hair, kind of youngest looking guy that does all the
I
backstage
know who
interviews, he's the
Tom Phillips
dude. He
is.
is the Todd Pettengill of 2015.
Yeah.
He's straight up like Todd Pettengill, dude. Like it just he reminds me of him so much. He's funny when he needs to be, and he has kind of like these he's like clean cut, like every WWE announcer is, but he kind of sneaks in these small little innuendos that are really funny. I really enjoyed the pre-show. Honestly, best pre-show I've seen ever. Good
It
times,
was
really
it was
enjoyed it.
good.
Just technical difficulties. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the intro is kind of what grinded my gears a little bit. This is one of the things. This is the small thing. But Triple H came out there. The intro is good as always. But dude, after like doing the we are NXT thing, if you would have sold the ribs just a little bit, it would have been so much better, man. Like no sell, nothing. Like they could have put you in some makeup, maybe. Like I don't know. You got to sell something, man, because this is a big show that a lot of your viewers are going to see. You should, and this is the first time you've been on TV you know, since what happened to you. So like, he really should have sold that a little bit more to me. What did you think about the intro?
I had that nitpick for a minute, but then I noticed there were a few more. Like there were a few more little production things that they did that didn't make sense. Like like we well we'll just skip forward and I'll mention it. Like when they showed Bailey arriving, it was after the tag team match, but they showed Bailey arriving with Carmella, which and the way they announced it was, here's Bailey arriving with her best friend Carmella. Please forget the fact that you just saw Carmella at ringside. Like that kind of annoyed me. And then when they showed Finn coming in, they showed him coming in with the realest guys in the room and like made no reference to them at all. So like those were two little production things that the announce team kind of botched up on that I didn't like. I think it would have been cool if Hunter would have sold the ribs. I'm not as unrealistic as people to be like Hunter shouldn't have been there, because you can't expect Hunter to not be there. Like they're
No,
in
I most certainly think he should have been there. Yeah, absolutely.
they're in London, you know, like and let's
Yeah.
be clear, like how big of a deal is it for them to actually tour the UK on top of doing a live special in the UK that's technically their pay-per-view. They even changed the time for them to where it was prime time for them. So like that, I mean, that's a big deal. You know, like not
Yeah.
many people, not many companies do that, as well as, you know, because like UFC goes overseas and it still
Well,
airs
they
prime
did the
time here.
same thing for Beast in the East too, though.
Yeah, but Beast in the East was a glorified live event. But I mean, that's all that was.
True.
This
That
was
is true. That is true.
this is a takeover. This is a quarterly pay-per-view for NXT. It's their 3-month payoff. So to do that and to make it prime time for the place they're in, that says something about the NXT brand and about how they feel for their UK fans. I will be very surprised if London does not use the O2 for SummerSlam next year. I will be very surprised. I do believe that London will be getting a WWE pay-per-view in 2016.
I think they're going to get a Big Four pay-per-view,
Yep, and
like
it's not going
like
to
a
be Mania.
SummerSlam or Survivor Series
It's
or
not going to be Mania.
yeah.
It's going to be SummerSlam, which is because they're trying to build SummerSlam up as the WrestleMania of the summer. So I think
But they
London
did that
will
already.
get, but
But they've
they're
already
gonna,
done SummerSlam there.
yeah, but forever ago, huh? It was a while back.
They should just wait till 90 or till 17 so they could do the 25-year anniversary.
Yeah, that'd be kind of
They
cool.
might wait one more year to do it that way. They might wait one more year.
Just to give it some more kind of like prestige. I could see them doing that. I could
And
see
it's
them.
25 years since the last time they had SummerSlam there. And if they had Brett come out and like maybe they're holding the Bulldog for that too. Damn, now we're thinking way far
Yeah,
ahead. We
we're
just
going
got
way too
that
far
rabbit hole
ahead.
was so deep, bro. Okay.
Quick, patch it up. Use some Minecraft dirt. Patch it.
Yeah.
So, but on to the first match. As we've taken care of the intro, good sir, to the first
Yeah.
match.
Okay, yeah. So the first match was Asuka and Emma, right? That
I
was the first
bel
match?
I believe that was first. Yes, because as
Yeah.
soon as it was over, they showed Oscar's mask and the place went nuts.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so first of all, great choice of match to kick off. I thought the plotting as far as where you put the matches was phenomenal. Great placement all around the match, really really well. I thought that this match was really really good. Lots of hype. It was a good way to get the crowd into it. Emma's new vibe is so good, and I like that I like that instead of making Emma Dana Brooke's sidekick, it's kind of turned into Dana Brooke being Emma's sidekick, which is the way it should have been all along. I feel like Emma's like this new gimmick is finally like really where she needs to be, because honestly, the old Emma was kind of a light version of Bailey, a little bit weirder, but it was still kind of like that cute, adorable, lovable, childish kind of girl vibe. And this new thing is because she's still weak, she's still awkward almost, but it's like it's like a it's like a full awkward, if that makes sense. I know it sounds really strange, but there's something about it that really works to me. I thought the match was really good, but again, I thought if there was a time, unless you're going to keep going with this whole, Asuka being undefeated and then waiting for the title thing, which is I think was probably where they're going. I thought that Emma probably should have gone over in this one. A lot of people are probably going to disagree with me, but I thought it would have made more sense to kind of keep the Asuka thing going, and then maybe bring in a partner for the Mania Takeover to work the both of them, which is probably what they're still going to end up doing anyway. But I thought it would have just been smarter to give Emma the edge here, considering Asuka got the win at the last Takeover. But overall, I gave this match an A-. So loved it. Just kind of thought Emma should have gone over, but the finish was even good. Everything was good. Just kind of thought Emma should have gone over.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I gave it an A, not an A plus. Gave it an A. I don't know if I would have put Emma over, I think I would have maybe caused a disqualification with Dana Brooke and then done a post-match beatdown. That way you technically kept Asuka undefeated, but you put the heels over to where you continue for a reason. Because
Yeah,
now Asuka's beaten both of them. So where do they go? Other than redundancy. I really think that with the backstage promo that we saw later in the night, I think she's going to end up facing Nia Jax. I think that it's going to be
yeah.
a Nia and Asuka feud. Um, and I don't know where they're going to go with that because of what happens later in the night. Um, but I think that that will be interesting. I don't know. I don't know what their plans are for these three because what do you do with the heels who really have no heat right now because they've been snuffed out by the babyface? And then what do you do with the babyface? We'll get to the women's match later, but if you're watching this, it's because you've seen the show or you don't want to watch the show. What are you going to do with the babyface since Bailey retained? Like, what are you going to do? Um, you have to line up another heel for Bailey because you're not going to turn Bailey and you're not going to turn Oscar right now. So it's kind of like, what do you do? Um, I will make one shout out. I saw in the promo package for the before that match, I saw that they did a oh, I'm sorry. I was watching Breaking Ground with Carmella, and I saw that Athena is working live events now. Athena is indie wrestler from Texas who recently signed with NXT. So shout out to Shu and all the guys out there in Dallas Fort Worth area who know who Athena is because she was on Breaking Ground twice so far. Um, so yeah, I gave the match an A. I thought it was a solid match. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I thought it was good, and like referencing that promo too. When I saw that promo, I thought, I was like, oh well, I think Nia is probably going to take the title here because they're probably going to bring Bailey up. Uh,
I
but
thought the same thing.
but that didn't happen. And um, so match number 2 was the Jersey Jerks, the realest guys in the room. Enzo and Cass versus Dawson and Wilder. Your thoughts, sir?
Can I just say that I really like our name better than their name? I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
Jersey Jerks is a way better name than Cass and Enzo. You know, like I mean, you could even call them the realest guys in the room, but like, give them something. Don't just call them Cass and Enzo. Like, I mean, that's one thing I can't stand with some tag teams is that even though they're legitimate tag teams, they just use
you
both
need a
of their
name.
names. Yeah,
You
give
need a
them a
name.
name. You know,
Even when you had guys like Tully and Arn, who were established guys, like Arn more of a tag team wrestler, but Tully was an established singles wrestler. They had a tag team. Everyone has a tag team name. Like even if it's the Dudley Boys or the Hardy Boys or whatever. Like
you want the biggest example? The biggest example: Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H, the two-man power trip. They had a team name. I mean,
yeah,
it's a
the
given.
only people that have ever been really successful and didn't have a team name was Edge and Christian.
Yeah, but their team name was Edge and Christian. Like, I mean, it was. I
Yeah,
know it was their names, but like I don't know. I guess the other cliche there is like the Hardy Boys. Because they're Hardys. But I
yeah,
mean,
but at least it's not Matt and Jeff. Like
right? Could you imagine a tag team Matt and Jeff? Like that's it. But anyway, into the match. I actually really liked the match. I thought it worked well. I'm so surprised. This is the match where I have a booking problem. Um, as much as I like the mechanics, if that's what you want to call them, as much as I like, Tully and Arn light, I really thought they were just going to be a transitional champion going from the Vaudevillains to the Jersey Jerks, uh, just where you didn't have to have a face versus a face. And I don't know, man. Maybe it's because of how popular uh, Jordan and Gable have been lately that they decided to not pull the trigger on the Jersey Jerks, and they're gonna do Jordan and Gable next. Because I'd be okay with that.
yeah,
But I
especially after the marketing that fatal 4-way for next week, which is going to determine the number 1 contenders for the tag
yeah,
titles. I think you got to go with Jordan and Gable. And honestly, I think that this Fatal 4-Way is probably going to be one of the last Vaudevillains matches you see.
I think
I think that they realize that gimmick, even though it really is over, and those guys are both great workers, they know it's not a timeless thing. Like that's not going to be over forever. I think they know.
nope.
I think they know that that's an Adam Rose gimmick. I think they know that it might get a big pop when it first comes on the main roster, and then as soon as they're there, no matter how they book them, it's just not going to stay over.
And the unfortunate thing is that I think Simon Gotch is going to be the one to suffer because Aiden
Oh yeah,
English
but
has
Aiden
star
English, come
written
on,
all
dude.
over him.
Aiden English is a singles guy with that old singing his way to the ring thing, dude. That to me, I always thought he could be a main roster guy because he's always been pretty good in the ring, even when he was way before the Vaudevillains. He's always pretty good in the ring. And his intro, I mean, I honestly think it was a step down for him to even go to this tag team, in my opinion. But
Well,
not that I don't like Simon Gotch. It's just that
right, no,
I think
he's
that
the other
Aiden
guy.
English he's the star. Yeah, yeah. Simon Gotch is the other guy. Yeah.
So, but to this, I think that with Big Cass and Enzo losing, they're coming up soon. I really do. Because I think, and I know it's a shame that they'll leave NXT without winning the NXT tag titles, but what else do you have? I mean, you can't have these guys stewing in NXT playing for the gold to just put over the tag champions every time.
But see,
You're,
this is why I think that tonight was really when they should have won the titles, because I think that they're gonna come up soon. They're the next tag team to come up, I think, but they're not coming up before Mania. So I'm thinking Smarkamania is when they're coming up on Raw, that Raw after Mania. And so then you're going to have them because they're huge. They're one of your most over things on the show. You're going to have them in the NXT Dallas Takeover. So to me, it's much smarter to put them over and then to have
have
them
them
lose the
lose.
titles the night before, so that way, though they lost, you don't think about them again, and then boom, they're on Raw on Monday. Huge pop, huge surprise. I think,
That would
but
have that right. That
and
would have been my way to go as well. But
yeah,
but I mean,
hire
even
me.
with them, even with them, even with them losing, I mean, you've still got a long way to go to Mania. We're still 3 months away. So I mean, there's time for them to like win them at a taping and lose them at a taping, or lose them at a takeover. But I really don't think you go with anybody other than Jordan Gable in this who's next thing, and then you have a
Yeah,
wrestler
but you drop it to
versus.
Jordan and Gable at that takeover.
Well,
But
and
then
I
again, dude,
agree.
Dawson and Wilder versus Gable
That's what I'm
and
saying. That's
Jordan.
going to be
That's gonna be
fantastic.
that's
Yeah,
gonna be
that
really good.
that's got money all over it. But I mean, I think it's a shame because I mean maybe they're just going for stark contrast because you had the longest reigning tag team champions in the Ascension and they've flopped on the main roster. And now you've got Cass and Enzo who haven't won the tag titles yet, but have gone for them multiple times, who should come up and by all rights could probably hang with guys like the Usos, the Lucha Dragons, these teams that are pretty much running the tag division right now. I mean, how good would Jersey Jerks versus the Dudleys be? I mean, let's just be real. That'd be great, you know?
It would. It would be really good, but I don't want to negate the fact here that I mean Dawson and Wilder are the better workers. They are the better.
Absolutely.
They're like I'm not. We're not. I don't think either one of us is saying that Enzo and Cass are a much better technical tag team. They're definitely more of a. They're a WWE tag team. They're
That's
more
it.
gimmick,
They are an
but they pull
over
it off.
WWE tag team.
And it's the same formula in every match. Cass will start off the match normally, and then him and Enzo will trade off for a while. Then Enzo takes the heat. Big Cass gets the hot tag. They go over. They get screwed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's what happens with them, and that's fine. It works for them. That's their formula, and it's perfect. They should not change it. But I just think they deserve to have those titles, and now I don't think they're ever going to get them. Especially
I agree.
considering how much they milk the fact that they're the longest tag team in NXT. And I mean, I just feel like you need to give those guys the titles before you bring them up. At least,
They're
even if
using
it's a transitional period, like it would have been, but it can't be shorter than between takeovers. So they're not going to win it because maybe they'll hold them until way after Mania. Maybe they won't come up for a good while now. Still, maybe we're wrong, but I think we both feel it that they're coming up relatively soon, within the next 6 months, I'd say. And I just don't see him getting a title reign if they didn't get it this time. But you're right. They could put him over a taping. I mean, we just saw a world title change on Raw, which is the first time that's happened in like 25 years. I'm not that much, but you know what I mean? Like a long time.
2006.
Okay, but
RVD
still,
lost the title in a triple threat in 2006.
still 2006 though. I mean, that's almost
That's
10
9
years.
years.
Like,
Yeah, 9
almost
years.
10 years since we've seen a title change. Like that's that's epic. And honestly, just a small touch here. The last week's Raw, I had to watch after I heard the reaction of it because I had sworn off Raws for a month, and I'm glad I did. But this one was awesome from top to bottom. The show was perfectly booked. It was good. I mean, there's guys in positions that I don't like, but it almost felt like a fresh writer took over and was trying to make the best of what had already been written, and it felt genuine. It felt good. Reigns winning, I loved it. It was good. I felt like I was
It
honestly
belonged. It
happier.
didn't feel
Yeah,
out of
it
place. It
belonged.
belonged.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see because now it's like, what do they do now? What are they going to do to him now? Like it's I mean, Vince pops ratings like this, and I've talked about this in our wrestling talk group, but I really feel like it'd be awesome if Vince just did 6 to 8 months, maybe a year of TV talent, not just this short stint, but like another run and just build that angle, and then maybe finally we can have a babyface authority figure again, like the '80s and the early '90s, where there's a president of the company or whatever, like a Gorilla Monsoon or a Sergeant Slaughter commissioner or a Mick Foley commissioner, a babyface authority figure. And Triple H could do that and run NXT. You know what I mean? Like, maybe
Right.
they'll do that next year or something. But again, fantasy booking. But dude, Vince always brings the ratings, and Raw was awesome.
Yep. Agreed. After the tag match, did they go? Did they go straight to Apollo and Corbin? No, there was another one, wasn't there?
Yeah. No, it was Corbin and Cruz.
Okay. Okay. So this is the other match where I don't complain about who won because I know why he won. Uh, I thought the match was good. I like the work, but what's up with Corbin? Because Corbin looked like he was like stumbling all over the place, and it's not really like him in the last 6 months or so. He looked a lot clunkier today
I don't
than
think it was clunkiness, man. I noticed it too, but I felt completely differently about it. I felt like this was the first time he wasn't just being, I'm Baron Corbin and think I'm better than everyone. Like, I felt like he was moving, like he was exerting energy. His in between spots were really good to me. Especially that, like, you should have stayed in Ring of Honor, you should have stayed in those high school
that
gyms.
was
Like, that
hilarious.
was awesome. That's really good, man. Like, that's good heel work. Like,
Yeah, but
I
it's
mean, cutting
not so
promos
much
while
that.
you're working, man. Like, we've never heard him do that before. Like, he's never really cut promos while he was working, and that's. I mean, look at guys that have, like, the top guys ever, like the biggest guys, like Flair's done it. Shawn did it. Brett did it. Stone Cold did it. The Rock did it all the time. The Rock would just grab a headset in the middle of a match and talk. Like, I mean, dude, that's. I think
Well,
this guy's coming up real soon. That's why they put him over.
that's just it. They put him over because he's coming up soon. Because I think that's a given. Baron Corbin is going to be if 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 Roman Reigns is Yin, Baron Corbin is going to be Yang. I mean, and that's just all there is to it. We're going to
Yeah,
see Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin in the next year and a half, and there's nothing
yeah,
anybody can do about it.
and
Which
it'll be really good.
that's
He's the
it.
most
I'm fine with
improved
it.
to me. He's
Oh,
the most improved
definitely.
worker in a year. Easily.
Definitely. Definitely. From the transition to his babyface gimmick to his heel gimmick that he's got now, night and day. Night and day.
Yeah.
He is a million
So
times
much
better.
better.
He looks
Yeah.
better in the ring. He delivers better promos. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I know it doesn't take much, but I think he's better than Reigns on the stick. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he's more of a shoot style kind of heel, like where how he feels as a heel is how he feels in real life as an athlete. So like that's kind of cool. Kind of like a Brock Lesnar thing where when Brock's a heel, it's Brock. Kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
It's
that's
real. It's him.
right.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Like that's cool and all. Um, I think it was a bad time for Apollo to lose. but I think we're gonna see maybe Corbin versus NXT champ and Apollo versus the other guy. I think that's what we're gonna end up seeing in the future because I don't think Corbin's gonna go up without at least facing for the title. I don't.
I agree. I agree. And honestly, dude, Apollo really needs a better finish.
Yeah, I
Really has
hate
got to
they're
have a
only
better
making him use half of it though, because that's only half of his finisher. Because he does the because in the Indies he did a moonsault and then a standing shooting star. Like he did both, but they won't let him do the shooting star. They only let him do the moonsault.
Yeah, I mean, it's not either way though.
It was called like
Like,
the UHA special or something like that. I don't remember what it was called.
yeah, he just needs something different though. I mean, and it shouldn't be. He needs an impact move. He needs an impact move. Like somebody needs to
You know
bring back the TKO. By the way, I don't know. I mean, it's like the. I know
that
it's
by the
like
way,
kind of
just
a RKO, but
yeah. Shout out to Corey Jones. That's his favorite move. That's his finisher in every WWE game. The TKO.
the TKO,
The
the
TKO.
slide over to cutter. Yeah, dude, that's.
The
I mean,
fireman to
to
cutter.
me,
Yep.
yeah, I've never understood why that move died with Mark Marrow. Like,
You know what's funny though?
that was originally the diamond cutter. Like, I mean that's how DDP did the diamond cutter for a while, about a year, maybe half a year, something like that, before he just turned it into what is now the RKO. But um, I mean
Or the
that
bullet
move's
cutter.
so good, and it's time. I mean, we've talked about somebody bringing back the stunner, but you can't because of how prominent Stone Cold is. But at the same time, the TKO would be really good to me. Like,
But the funny thing is, like, who is it? Roman? Somebody does the fireman to flapjack. They do it the other way. Instead of transition to cutter, they grab the legs and they do like a transition to flapjack.
ooh, I don't know if I've ever seen
I've
that.
seen
I mean,
I've
I know I've
seen
seen it,
somebody
but
do it.
I don't know who. I mean, I don't think I've seen it on a regular basis. I don't think it's like
It's
in
not
someone's
on regular
repertoire.
basis, but they pull it out for pay-per-views. Whether it's Roman or it's somebody on Raw, because I've seen it on a WWE pay-per-view, not an NXT
It
show.
might be truth.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We're off topic, but I don't remember. But I know I've seen that. And every time I see it, I'm like, man, it'd be cool if somebody did the TKO randomly. And I guess they don't want anybody doing it because they don't want, you know, it to look as similar as the RKO. Because it is a cutter at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah, but I mean,
I know Randy's is different enough, but we're also
yeah.
talking about we're also talking about the
I mean,
company
how many
where
people use the crossface right now? How many people use the double foot stomp off the top rope? Like, how many people use the damn super kick? Jesus Christ.
yep,
The super
at
kick is
least
becoming the DDT, man.
yeah, it is. Like I know there are at least 5 people on the active roster that use a super kick.
Jesus,
But
it's
here's the
ridiculous,
funny
man.
thing. Here's the funny thing about the super kick. Everybody I know on the main roster uses it as a signature, except for Tyler Breeze. It's his finisher. They don't have him do they call it the supermodel kick, but they don't have him do the beauty shot. Like
No, yeah, they don't do it.
he doesn't do the jumping roundhouse wheel kick. Like he doesn't do the wheel kick. I can't stand
Yeah.
it. Like they got rid of like if anything, they should have got rid of the super kick and let him keep that. Like
Yeah, I agree. Because no one really does the wheel kick anymore.
no, the last guy that did the wheel kick on a regular basis was RVD.
Yeah.
It's been 9 years.
Well,
So
I mean, the guy's been back. He was back like
yeah,
last or
but he didn't
2014.
do it. Like he doesn't do it. He did it whenever he
Yeah.
was active all the time. He doesn't do it like the big move that he does as a pop as far as a kick is either his jumping kick or he does the whole like catch the leg, step over and reverse kick. Like
Oh
that's
yeah.
his thing.
Which is weird. I never
Yeah.
liked that move,
So,
but whatever.
but anyway, um I like, I'm cool with Corbin going over because I know he just lost to Joe and Apollo's been pretty much undefeated minus the disqualification match with Finn. Uh, I'm okay. I'm okay with Corbin winning because I know he needs a head of steam because I know he's coming up soon. I just think that Corbin was not the right guy to beat Apollo.
I
Just like,
disagree, but
well, like, but like for what they're building him for, yes, it will work. But I think that like maybe you could have done with Apollo like you want to do with Asuka because I don't think who won the title match should have won either. but we'll get to that. Baron
Yeah.
Corbin and Apollo got a B plus A minus from me.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I gave the match an A minus too, and in actuality, on the flip side of the booking decision here, like this is literally the only match on the entire card where I felt like the guy that won should have gone over. Again, I thought all the matches were great. I thought all the finishes were good. This was the only match where I was like, yeah, Corbin needs to go over here. I thought this was well done. I think it's a precursor just to the fact that he's coming up sooner than later. Maybe not immediately, but pretty soon. It wouldn't surprise me if they put him in the Rumble, honestly. And I think it'd be a good pop.
Yep.
It wouldn't surprise me if they just didn't put him on any more tapings until the Rumble of NXT either. I think that would make sense. But yeah, I had no problem with this with Corbin going over. I thought if Cruz was going to lose to anyone and not lose steam, it would make sense to lose to Corbin. Because I feel like even the casual fan, even the casual NXT fan, which is kind of like the marks that watch a lot of wrestling but still aren't very smart for some reason. I think they would even say, like, you can feel the momentum of Baron Corbin. You know that guy is the guy that, is going to come up, the next guy to come up is going to be him. So I like him going over. I loved the match. I gave it an A minus just because I did feel like there were 2 or 3 spots that were a little clunky. But also, too, I felt like, they were kind of mutual there, and they both recovered really well from them. So I gave it an A minus. Good match.
Yeah. And, just a little backtrack there. I thought that if Corbin would have lost, my direct association with him would be the new NXT's Tyler Breeze, where he's putting over these guys that are headed for the title. That would have been my assumption of Baron Corbin if he would have lost. So that's why I'm okay with him winning. But I think I think it was a smart decision. So after that was the Bailey match, right?
Yeah.
Bailey and Nia were after that. So before this, they showed Nia Jax backstage and they had a little stare down with Asuka, which was kind of cool. Looks like we'll be getting Asuka versus Nia Jax next, which I'm cool with. It'll be interesting to see how they work that out because uh, it's a weird dynamic with anybody wrestling Nia Jax because I know she's agile and I know she can move, but it's like expecting. I mean, then again, we're talking about the industry where Gail Kim and Awesome Kong like tore the house down for years. So I mean, I'm kind of excited to see where they go with it. Um, but the Bailey and Nia Jax match was better than I thought it would be. Um, it was just as one-sided as I thought it was going to be, as far as Nia Jax just smashing for most of the match. Um, I don't know. I mean, I gave it a B plus. I didn't give it like an A plus or anything like that. I thought it was a good match, but I guess I hold Bailey and them to such high standards because of the 4 Horsewomen that I kind of felt let down with this one. But that's just me. I don't know. What'd you think about this one?
I actually felt like Bailey carried her to a really good match. I feel like granted, we don't have really a big sample size from Nia Jax, but I felt like this was her best match, bar none.
Well,
I
definitely
think,
her longest.
yeah, absolutely. I had no all right. I had no problem with the match itself, but this is where the WWE really pissed me off. Okay, so look, I know that you have this WWE app that you use, and I understand that it's a live sporting event, so you have to report the news. Okay, it's not a live sporting event. Okay, first of all, it's an athletic show. Okay, it's not a live sporting event. So that whole defense of like Joey Styles has been on Twitter raging about it because there's a lot of people pissed off like me because what they do is it's not even like they post something on their app about
It's an
who
alert.
won the
It's a
matches. They
notification.
send you an alert that buzzes your phone that tells you exactly what just happened. Okay, why would you? In what world is that a good idea? How is that a good idea? The only people that are going to see this are A, people who have already watched it or are watching it, and then they don't need that information to buzz their phone, or B, people who cannot get off at 2 o'clock on a Wednesday to watch it live. So you are spoiling your show for them. Now, I knew it because it's already happened. That's a fucking stupid defense. there's no logic in that. Okay, this is what it would be. It's not like the NFL reporting who won a game. As much as you want to make it seem that way, kayfabe is dead. Okay, that's not what it is. This would be like if at the end of every Game of Thrones episode, HBO Go released a buzzing alert that says Jon Snow dies in episode. That's what it would be like. Why would you do that? It's fucking idiotic. It is a moronic thing to do. You do it on every pay-per-view. You did it on Raw to give away your title change. You guys are so dumb. All right, if you have to have it on the app, that's fine. Keep it on the app, but then make the network a totally different app so I don't have to have it on my phone. So I have the option because I can't turn those notifications off. You don't have that option in your app. So I have no, dude, that is beyond belief the thing that has most pissed me off about the WWE all year. Why would you do that? Why would anyone do that?
Well, that escalated quickly.
Dude, I mean, dude, my blood boils with that shit, man. Because I saw it as I was watching the promo. So in my mind, I'm like, ooh, Nia Jax might actually win this because they're doing the Asuka thing here. And then boom. And of course I looked because my wife is coming home from work. And I'm thinking it's a text message. No, you're just going to give away the results in the middle of the afternoon? Are you serious? And who thought that's a good idea? There's so many people pissed on Twitter, dude. So many people. And Joey Styles, I love you, bro, but you trying to take up the accolade and act like we're all stupid for thinking this way, it only makes you look out of touch, considering you're the one that's in charge of the website. That is a fucking stupid stance to have, man. And I love Joey Styles. I love his work. I thought the guy never got a fair shake as a commentator. He's better than half the guys you have on your roster, and you have him working the website, and he's making mistakes there. You should put him on air.
It's funny because that is the sole reason that I have a notification tone as one thing and a text tone as another. It's the only reason, because I can't stand when they spoil that kind of shit.
Dude,
cannot stand it.
It's so dumb. Why would anyone do that? Why would anyone do that? Like,
it's the equivalent of spoiling a movie at this point, because I mean, kayfabe's dead. I mean, and I know it's an athletic event where you are, you're a guy who's in shape or a woman who's in shape, and you're risking your body. Like, I get it. It's an athletic event, but it's not a sport.
No,
it's not a sport. You don't have a player. You don't have a players union. You don't have all these sponsors. Each person is not individually owned by a franchise manager. You don't have franchises. You're a business. You are a singular business that has become a monopoly of the wrestling community. But that aside, it's not a sport. It is a show.
No, it's sports entertainment. You want to shove it down our throats all the time. It's not a sport. It's sports entertainment. Stop. Why would you do that? God, I can't get over it, man. I'm dumbfounded. Like, why would anyone think that was a good idea? Who does that help? Name one situation where that's helpful.
It helps the casual fan that doesn't watch NXT. That's it.
Then why do you do it on your pay-per-views?
I guess for the casual fan that has the network but doesn't watch pay-per-views? Like, I don't know. Like,
or if it has the app that doesn't have the network, probably.
Well, that's probably what it is. It's probably for those people who have the app but don't have the network.
Then you need to make two separate apps. So I can just delete.
Originally, I thought they were.
No, they've always been two apps. They've always been the same app.
Well, and this is why I always watch on a computer. So I don't even think I have the. I have two phones. I have a work phone and a personal phone, and I don't even think I have it on one of them. Like, just because I always watch on a computer or my PlayStation. And on the PlayStation, I don't have to worry about that crap. Like, I don't get notifications on my PlayStation. So.
I don't get them on my Xbox. Thank God.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. You go to bed early one night and you wake up the next morning. You're like, I'm gonna go watch on my just like all 5 notifications of all the matches. That'd be terrible.
That'd be the worst.
So, but after that one, after Bayley and Nia, which again, I am surprised that Bayley went over. I'm glad Bayley went over, but I'm surprised she went over. I think she's another one where they'll wait till Smarkamania to bring her up, if they bring her up. And all I can say is God help that women's division when Bayley comes up, because you're pretty much, in terms of your best workers, you're left with Asuka, you're left with Emma and Carmella, and and Nia Jax is to be determined. So, I mean, we know Dana Brooke is not really there. I mean, Alexa Bliss is good, so she can work.
Yeah.
Uh, we know Eva Marie is not there. They've got some new people coming up, so we'll see what happens with the new people too. I just hope Bailey stays around long enough in those 3 months to really get her hands
Athena,
on
man.
some of them. Yeah,
We got
yeah.
Athena
Well,
coming
that's
up.
that's my that's my hope. I hope she rocks that shit. Um, so we'll see what goes on. Um, I'm just scared that once the four horsewomen come up, that the women's division in NXT is not going to live up to the hype, and then it's going to end up crumbling, and that's a scary thought. Like I don't want that to happen.
I don't think that'll happen, man. I think that I think it's really all about their coach that they have down there. Because I mean, if you really think about it, Sasha Banks, Bailey, Becky Lynch, even to an extent,
Did Sarah
they
Del Rey
didn't
ever
really
play down
have long, successful indie runs. I mean, Becky Lynch kind of did, but didn't. Charlotte didn't.
there? Right, they're not the Finn
Paige did
Balor's.
for sure, but
They're not the
do
Finn
what?
Balor's of the they're not the Finn Balor's of the women's division. I mean, they're not. They didn't
Right.
have this illustrious career. They came in NXT there, and that's the cool part is that for the most part they're NXT made, and look how good they are.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
what I mean. So it's like I don't really worry about the women's division as much as I really kind of am worrying about the guys division. I mean, really right now it's like Corbin's going to go up, and then what else did you really have in singles matches for guys? Like
Hideo should be coming
main
back
event,
soon.
huh?
I mean, Hideo should be coming back soon.
Yeah, but I think I mean I thought didn't he have the same clause in his contract as Sammy about like not being or as Owens about not being in NXT for very long? Like it was like a 6 month or
But I
12 month
think,
deal or whatever.
but I think him being hurt extended that, so he's still probably gonna have to put in the work at NXT, and
Yeah,
and
but
that's
I don't know. Like to play
Zayn
devil's
should be coming
advocate
back.
in that situation, it's like you could just opt out of your contract, go back and be Kenta and make more money. I don't think they want that to happen, so they might just bring him up, considering they had brought him already up at that WrestleMania. Like he
I
might
don't
just go
think
straight to the main roster.
he might, and I mean, he'll probably be a Rumble guy. I think if that's what happens, because Zayn's back already, and I think Kenta will be back soon. I think if that is the case, he'll be a Rumble guy. So
I'd like that.
yeah, I'd be cool with that. That'd be cool. Maybe have Kenta work Breeze or Neville. Kenta and Neville would be good.
Yeah,
So
Hideo. Yeah,
yeah, I know. I'm weird because I called him Hideo first, and then you said Kenta, and then I kind of went there. So
yeah. I know. I got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, but world title match: Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. Okay, so first things first, I'm glad Balor changed up his entrance a little bit. I'm glad it wasn't like just the demon. The whole Jack the Ripper thing was pretty cool. Like I kind of popped for it. It was kind of cool. Um, I thought that I thought that they tried really fast to build Joe up as this monster, and I mean it's Samoa Joe, so it works based on reputation alone. But with anybody else, that's a horrible idea. So I hope that they don't try that trend in the future. I I like the promo package like that, and that's another thing. NXT's got great promo packages, by the way. For anybody who likes like the WrestleMania feel promo packages for WWE, just watch all the takeover packages because they're on that level. Like they really are. Um,
Yeah,
and you get four of them a year instead of just one a year, so that's kind of
yeah,
cool. The match itself, I enjoyed the match itself. This is the one where I really disagree with who went over. I think that like if Corbin's coming up soon, and I know you'll want to keep Finn around, but I really think that keeping Finn around as a babyface champion for too long is going to snuff out his light. It
yeah,
is. I think it is. Um, he's not John Cena. He's not Adrian Neville. I mean, I know he does the coup de grace. I know he's got some really good moves, and he works that strong style. I just he's not Neville, and he doesn't have a Sami Zayn to play off of. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh, I
Like
agree.
so, like Balor's a one-trick pony. I think the biggest mistake was keeping him babyface, and I love Finn Balor as a babyface. I think that you should have kept Joe babyface and turned Finn heel. I think because the Demon would have been hilarious. Like the Demon would have been great as a heel, so good. And then you could have gone like balls to the wall with this Jack the Ripper thing. Like I mean, just so there's so much more that could have been done with him as a heel, and then Samoa Joe as like the righteous veteran babyface. Like I think that would have been a better way to go. Um,
Yeah,
but
but they could be saving the heel turn for the main roster. You know what I mean? They could
or
ride this babyface thing and only keep him babyface in the main roster for like a pay-per-view or two at most, and then flip him
no,
hard.
because I really think that a good match would be Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor, and I know a lot of
Oh
people
yeah,
do.
for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
but I think I think he needs to be babyface for that because Bray's the better heel. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you know,
See,
uh,
but that's see, I've thought about this already. My all right, dude. I have a fan like not a legit book, but in the back of my head, like I have options upon options of booking for guys. So as soon as you said Finn and Bray, I've been thinking about that before, and I thought it would be so much smarter to just like to when you flip him, just make him a Wyatt member, make him the Wyatt member, and do what you did with Brian, where he was like a
where you
member for
turn
like a
him.
month. You remember that? Like, I mean, it wasn't very long. Like, but do the same kind of idea, and then just have like the Demon take over. You know what I mean? And then have the Demon be the heel, turn Bray Wyatt babyface, and have the Demon take the family with him, but they all change what they wear. You know what I mean? Like, take them from
They
him.
all do body paint and shit. Like that'd
Like
be
they
kind of
become the Bullet Club. They become the Bullet Club, but different. You know what I mean? Like
right.
different.
And that's another thing that I'm scared of. I'm scared that when he goes to the main roster, they're gonna put him with Cesaro and Neville and make a babyface Bullet Club. Like I am so scared of that. And like it'd be cool for Cesaro and Neville, but where would it go? You know what I mean? Like with those three, where would it go? And that scares me. Like I'm scared that they're like because like
I
they've
mean, but
done
they
it.
could do it really well, man. I mean, there could
They
be a point
ah
where
ah
Cesaro's the
the
world,
operative word is
like,
could.
but they could do if one of them had the IC belt and then the other one like was in a the other two were in a like if it was Cesaro and Neville who are both great tag team workers that we know of and are both good at singles, like they would be a great tag team, like being in that Bullet Club and being tag team champions, working guys like the Usos and Wyatts and whoever else. You know what I mean? I mean, they would be phenomenal there. And then you just have Finn go for the IC belt with whatever babyface who has the title at the time, like Dean Ambrose. Those would be great matches. Dean Ambrose versus Finn Balor. You know what I mean? Like you could bring him up right now and do it. But
Right. But and that's my thing. Like you need to bring him up soon before his light snuffs out. And I think him losing to Joe would have been a better set. But once Corbin won, I was like, okay, Balor's retaining because they're gonna go Balor and Corbin and Joe and Cruz. That's gonna be your next one, I think.
yeah,
I I think that's the smartest thing to do because then what you have is you have Baron Corbin who has beaten the former number one contender, so he's the number one contender. You have Apollo Crews going to beat Samoa Joe, who is going to beat Samoa Joe, who was the former number one contender. So Finn Balor beats Baron Corbin, or Baron Corbin beats Finn Balor, and Finn Balor goes up. Then you have Apollo Crews face Baron Corbin again, or face Finn Balor. I think it would be better personally if Finn was the next guy to come up and Corbin waited just a little longer. You send Balor up, you've got Corbin as champ. He's heel champ. We haven't had a heel champ in a while since Owens, and Owens wasn't really champ long enough because they had Balor chase him. You know what I mean? So if you send Balor up, have Corbin champ, have him beat Apollo again, and then you have Apollo or Sami Zayn make that climb to make the top. Because I mean, I know Finn says he's in no rush, but everybody wants to go to the main roster. Same thing with Zayn. I really don't think Zayn's going to stick around in NXT too long. Like, I think he's coming up soon. He was due for the push that Kevin Owens got. So,
yeah,
I think here's a twist. In the meantime, while Sami Zayn's retesting matches and all and getting some NXT reps in, Kevin Owens gets the IC title back, and we get Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania if they don't do Owens and Brock. I think that would
Yeah.
be a good way to go. So
Yeah. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I think that'd be a great. I think that's really great booking. I mean, I think we've. I mean, I think we've always pictured it being like, whenever Zayn was healthy, he was just going to come back.
coming for
Like
Owens.
back to the main roster for Owens. Yeah. Um. I mean, I don't know. To me though, like as much indie darling success that Prince Devitt was. Balor has been in NXT longer. He has been a WWE guy longer. I think he would make more sense to come up next. I think it's especially at something like the Rumble, and then you maybe put him in a small match at Mania with a decent guy, like maybe even like him versus Ziggler at Mania would be really good. Um, but I just think that he's the next guy to me. I see what you're saying, but I think it should be Finn. Like, I thought that Joe should have won this match too. I thought that they should have gone with a heel champ. I agree with all those points, and you're totally right about Owens not really being a long enough champ in NXT. And that
And he
kind
was
of did
fresh.
work
He
out,
still
I
had
guess.
that baby feel to him because he was, you know what I mean? Like he was still super fresh. He was a hot sign, and he just came in so quick. And even though he pretty much took out Sami Zayn, it was still Kevin Steen in WWE. So like the flair of Kevin Steen in WWE had not worn off yet. You know what I mean? Like that's why I feel like Joe had the better transition than Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens flipped in 12 hours, in an hour. He debuted and he flipped by the end of the night. Joe stuck around, worked a whole tournament as babyface, worked Baron Corbin as babyface, and then flipped. So like that was a better flip to me than Kevin Owens' flip. Because Kevin still had that super babyface, like, yay, you're here kind of shine.
Yeah,
Joe's
but
wore
that's
off.
because it happened on the same night, though.
That's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I mean?
It was too quick.
You can't do that. Well, you couldn't do that with Corbin because he'd already been on TV as a babyface for a long time.
Well, yeah, no, I'm talking about Joe having the better transition from babyface to heel than Kevin
Oh
Owens.
yeah, but I mean, but you can't. I mean, you couldn't really bring Joe in as a heel. That just wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't have
Just like you
worked.
couldn't bring
You
Kevin
couldn't have
Owens
done the
in.
exact same thing with Finn as you did with Sammy. I feel like we all would have shit on that because it would have been the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, even though it's
Yeah.
legit and they legitimately, have known each other, like, I don't know.
Yeah, but they weren't on, like, Joe and Balor weren't on the level Owens and Zayn were, though.
Right, right. That's what I
You know?
mean. That's what I mean. So, and it's like
So,
you couldn't have just brought him in heel. I don't think it would have worked.
no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that Owens wasn't a credible, like, straight up heel champion in NXT because he still had that babyface shine of signing with WWE. That's what I'm saying. They flipped him too fast. They flipped him on the same night he showed up. That was too fast. Because he still had that like yay, you're here, we're so happy you're here, we're gonna cheer for you thing. You know what I mean? Like he got booed, but the dude got pops for like 90% of his matches. You know?
I mean, he got pops in his intro, but by the first two moves in the match, he was getting the boos. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Owens is. I mean, he is a heel, man. Like he's not supposed
Right.
to be a
I'm not
babyface.
saying
It just
I'm not
doesn't.
saying that he's not. I'm not saying that he's not.
I had.
I'm just saying
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I just feel like doing it when they did it was smart to me. Like
oh
doing it
I don't
that quick made perfect sense to me, especially because Zayn didn't he just won the title for the first time that night after going after it for like 3 months. Like
yeah.
that just I felt like it was perfect. That was I mean that's
See,
one of
I
like
would
my
have
top NXT moments, man.
it was a good moment, but like for me it was a good moment because he showed up. You know what I mean? Like he was there. And it was cool because, we all marked out because we were going to see Generico versus Steen on WWE television. Like that was great.
Yeah.
For me, I would have waited for like the Neville rematch. Like Neville gets his rematch, Zayn gets pushed to the limit, he barely scrapes by, then you flip. Because then you've had like 3 or 4 matches as a babyface that you had to work. The shine of you just got here is gone or it's fading a little bit. Then you flip them. You know what I mean? Like they did with Joe. They let Joe work for 2 months, 3 months as a baby face, and then they flipped him. So like, you know what I mean? Like it was, I don't know. Maybe I'm just really nitpicking it, but like that's what I would have done. If maybe not so
Yeah.
much with I don't know. I don't know what I would have done if I had the book. Maybe I would have done it the exact same way.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
I mean it's
complain about things
hindsight's
online.
2022, you know. I mean it's hard to tell too, you know. I mean it's just overall though, I mean overall I mean to me it makes I agree. I think Samoa Joe should have won the title because I think we needed a heel guy being the champion. But at the same time, like I still don't think that Finn like dude, honestly, man, all right, I love the Jack the Ripper gimmick. I love that he changed the intro up with the demon. But see, to me, then it's like I don't know. Even Joe said something about that in that promo. He was like, you know, yeah, you're the demon, like when it really matters. And it's like to me, it matters all the time. And like and that's why I was like, man, I've been thinking like since day one. It's like, dude, you can't. I don't know. He either needs to go paint all the time or just
Or
stop
paint
doing the
never.
paint. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah, I mean, the demon can just be the way you work, man. You can just change a facial expression and change the way you work. Or just wear the paint all the time if you really want the paint. If you guys want that kind of gimmick, like, but every now and then, I mean, or if you go to the main roster and you only do the paint at like Mania or like twice a year at most, twice a
I think
year,
it'll be every pay per
that's
view.
okay. Yeah, you got to stop doing it every pay per view, man. You got to stop doing it every
Well,
pay per view.
it would make sense if it was maybe if it was like title matches. You know what I mean? Like
I don't
if
even think that.
I don't know, like I feel like you have to do it because like I don't know, I don't agree with like maybe like once or twice a year because first off, doing it for Mania will be insane. Like that ramp is going to be insane. You know that.
Yeah, but you could
They'll
just
probably
do it on like a you could do
do it like
something
they did
big though.
Brooklyn. Do it like they did Brooklyn, where they had multiple of them appear in different places.
Yeah.
You know, like you could do that. Um, but then I don't know, like I don't know, like if you had to pick 2 times a year or 3 times a year, obviously every mark would just say, "We'll do it for the big four." But sometimes the big four doesn't feel like the big four, and
Right.
as we know by this last Survivor
That's what I
Series,
mean, twice at most. So it's like literally Mania and then whichever one that's like the right one. Like
Mania and Raw after Mania, that is all.
right. Oh, we got some good pay-per-views this year, man. Overall.
Oh no, I agree. We had some great pay-per-views this year. I mean, but that's a different conversation because that would be something cool to do. Maybe like rank every main roster pay-per-view from top to bottom over the year.
Yeah, we'll do it like a week before Rumble or something.
Yeah, something crazy. We'll do something crazy. So, but guys, that's it for Takeover for us. I'm finally gonna go get some sleep, I think, because that sounds like a good idea.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, sounds good. So, I'm Matt. He's Dan. We're Mouth of the Mark. We're out.
Peace.